Today we're talking about how to find ease with money flow in particular. You know, those times when you feel like you've got too much a month for your money, or you really want to buy something for your house, but you feel like you haven't got enough money, and how it makes you feel. We're going to look at how it makes you feel. What thoughts are you feeling? So, the physical reaction to feeling like you don't have enough money, the mental reaction and emotional reaction, and then what can we do about it? I'm just going to check that it's coming up on my phone so I can see any missed comments, because you don't always see all the comments on Facebook, which is quite annoying. Yeah, there we are. I'm here and I can hear myself. Say hello if you're watching, because Facebook doesn't always tell me. But I'm going to crack on and then we'll go on to reading the cards for those of you who are live with us, and a couple of people have requested in advance. So, money flow. I've talked about money flow quite a lot. I've talked about manifesting quite a lot. I don't think I've necessarily talked about, I have in the book, but in this group, I've not necessarily talked about finding ease with money. And I want you to really notice, it's part of your manifesting habits actually, is you need to notice your reaction to your money flow. So let's just take, someone who is in a paid job, they get a fixed salary, and they are, wanting to buy something for the house. And let's pick on a TV as a good example, right? Just a piece of tech for your house. But it's about 300 quid, the TV you want. And you are thinking, well, I don't have enough money in the bank saved up. I could put it on a credit card, but then can I pay that off quickly? Will that just add to any other debt that you've got? Or you might just think, do you know what? It's not worth it. I'm going to put it off. Now, what I'm going to say next is not to encourage you into debt. Okay. That is not what I'm trying to do. But when we think I can't afford it with something, it has a physical reaction, a mental and an emotional reaction. It creates that within us. So let's start with the mental one. I can't afford it, right? That is saying to yourself, there is no abundance or money flowing to me. There are no other opportunities for me to receive currency into my existence. How that currency shows up, none of your business. But by going, I can't afford it, you're also saying there's no other way for any money to flow to me. You're also possibly saying, I'm not worthy of that thing I want. So I don't deserve the feelings of reward, the dopamine hit of feeling rewarded or feeling good about it. And instead, I need to stay in struggle and strife. Okay. So that's two possible things. If you, as you watch this on replay, and please use the hashtag replay, if you find that when you say, I can't afford it, other thoughts come into your head and become aware of other beliefs, then please use the releasing process that I talk about in my book, I've talked about in this group. Please use the releasing process to change that perspective, because that perspective will really be holding you back. And in those beliefs of, no more money can flow to me, I can't afford it, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve to be rewarded, I don't deserve the good things in life. What you're actually also saying to yourself is, I'm poor, I don't live in an expansive universe, and I can't manifest more for myself. And the feeling that generates is one of feeling small, of feeling helpless, perhaps even powerless. You might also feel that hard done by, like the universe somehow is punishing you. Okay. Now, another way of looking at this as well, which might generate these same feelings, is supposing someone gave you a lump sum. So let's say someone gave you £20,000. It could be an inheritance, it could be a win, it could be a pension drawdown. Doesn't really matter what the sum of money is, but it's at 20,000, right? And with that 20,000, you're like, great, I'm going to save some of it for a rainy day, but then I'm going to use some of it to repair my house, maybe get something done in the car, whatever, some outstanding jobs. And as you do these things and you're doing them with great glee, oh, these are things I can cross off my list, that feels really good on one hand. On the other hand, what you might experience is a wobble because you're watching the balance drop and you don't know where more money is going to come from. You don't know if you spend this money, will you be back to square one again? Because where else are you going to get a lump sum of 20,000 from, right? And so that wobble that you're experiencing where you're like, oh, I don't like this feeling of the balance dropping and I don't know where more money's coming. And should I spend my money here? Or should I do this? Should I not do this? That wobble is about not trusting that your needs will be met, that the universe has your back, that there is more abundance available to you. If there was 20,000 available to you, there is more available to you. It's about not believing that currency is flowing to you all the time, and you just have to be open to how you can receive it. And so when you feel that wobble, you are also triggering the beliefs I talked about before. I'm not worthy. There's no more currency or abundance flowing to me. I don't deserve to be rewarded. I'm poor. All of those things get triggered again. And so we've got a whole load of beliefs that get triggered. We have a whole load of feelings of feeling miserable, and feeling a bit downcast and maybe feeling a bit angry with the universe and with yourself that you're in this situation and nothing seems to be making it better. No matter what you do, you don't feel like you're moving forward, right? So there'll be those sorts of feelings that you're generating. And then what's happening physiologically to your body? Well, for some of you, you will experience a feeling of kind of almost like you're holding your breath, like, so your shoulders have come up by your neck. You might feel the tension in your physicality. For some of you, it might exacerbate some health conditions because what you're doing is holding it all in. You're literally tightening your body in those beliefs and feelings of not feeling good and not feeling aligned to more. And so what can you do about that? That is the question, right? I can see someone said something, say, hey, Gwen, hi, Sue. So what can you do about that? When you're feeling that sense of, oh, this is really hard. And I'm going to say to you, the thing to do about it actually is go and do something different. When you're thinking about the things you want to buy and then eliciting all these triggering thoughts, triggering feelings, a triggering reaction in your body, go and do something else. Go and do some art. Go and jump on a trampoline. Go dancing, sing, dance around your kitchen table. It doesn't have to be expensive. It's just something to get you moving and get you distracted and back into a place of feeling good. Okay. Once you have done that, the next thing I'm going to advise you to do is go and buy something. It doesn't have to be big, but go and buy something, not a 50p thing, not a £2 thing or a £10 thing. I'd probably say spend between, if you can afford it, between say 25 and £100, okay? Because what we're looking at, and that money you're spending is not on groceries. It's going to be on something that you have had your eye on for a little while and you would like, because you believe in the having of it, you're going to feel better for it. So it could be a piece of jewelry. It could be getting a watch repaired or a ring repaired. It could be buying yourself a pair of beautiful winter boots or leather gloves or the most gorgeous scarf that you've had your eye on, or a new handbag. It doesn't really matter what the thing is, but I want it to be a non-essential item. And why would I ask you to do that? And remember, I'm not asking you to go into debt, right? So if you don't have £100, don't spend £100. If you have £50, spend that £50. If you have £25, spend £25, or euros if you're in Europe, okay? Or dollars if you're in America or Canada or Australia. So I want you to just find something that is non-essential that you can go and buy. And as you buy it, I want you to notice how you feel. Do you feel good or do you feel guilty? Do you feel a bit of a feeling going on where it feels like something's relaxed inside you and you breathed out? Does it make you feel, oh, I don't know if I deserve to be rewarded like this? How is it making you feel? Because if it's the latter and it's not making you feel good, it is your sign that you need to do more work on your beliefs, right? And you need to do some more releasing. And I've already said this once, but if you've spent that £25, euros, or dollars, and you still feel that way, you have to do more work. There's some deep work there that's needed from you. However, for some of you, what will happen is that in that spending of that £25, you will relax and you'll feel it as a physical sensation within your body. It's like someone's loosened a knot. And in that loosening of a knot, you have aligned yourself back to abundance. Now, does that mean that in the next 24 hours, a whole load of abundance is going to flow in? Not necessarily. But what you've done is relax enough to allow it to flow back into your experience. All right. So then your work is to just enjoy the thing you've got and just be open to the possibilities of new forms of abundance coming your way. And it can come through in the most unusual ways. So I'm going to give you an example, a real life example, because I think these help. So I did receive a sum of money, a lump sum of money a while ago. And we have set some of it aside for savings and some of it we are using to do some stuff on the house. And the other weekend, I said to my husband, we really need a new staircase and landing carpet. You can see on the steps how the carpet's coming away. And I said, it'd be really nice if we get new carpet coming in for Christmas. We've got lots of people coming in. It'd be really nice if that was done. And we've had other bits and pieces being done, and we're still having more stuff done after this carpet. Anyway, so we go off to the shops. I don't really have a budget in mind for the carpet, but before I'd even got to the carpet shops that morning as I'm getting ready, I noticed some wobbles in my energy about the balance dropping. And I noticed that it didn't feel great to me. So, and I was getting changed at the time. So what I did was I was just like, this does not feel aligned to who I am anymore. And I know, because this has been my experience, that from time to time I do receive lump sums. It's been going on for a number of years where I'm quite good at manifesting big sums of money. I don't tend to manifest in small amounts like a monthly salary. I tend to manifest big lump and that kind of keeps me going for a while. And so I was just like, well, I know that that's not true, that just because the balance is going down, there's no more coming in. I know there is. And so what I went and did was I did some Pilates stretching, which made my body feel really good. It eased some aches and pains and some stiffness. I came down, I had a really nice breakfast that morning. And then I said to my husband, right, we've got a couple of places to go. Where shall we go first? And he was like, carpet shop. I was like, great. So we went off to the carpet shop. Hi, Zoe. We went off to the carpet shop and it was offering 50% off, which was part of the reason we were going to the specific carpet shop. And I was like, okay, 50% off. Fantastic. Wandering around. Obviously, the carpet we choose is not in the sale and is one of the most expensive in the blooming shop, right? But by then, I had settled my energy enough through the movement, the breakfast, the music in the car, wandering around the shop and realizing actually what I want to experience from this carpet is a feeling of luxury, a feeling of something that is worth the money I'm going to pay for it, a feeling of something that's going to last me a while. I want that experience from whatever I purchase. So that by the time we sat with the salesman, who, by the way, was a very good salesman, by the time we sat with him and I said, can you give me an approximate cost? Because we were having someone come through to measure. I didn't even bat an eyelid at the approximation, right? I was just like, okay, that's fine. And as I walked out of that shop, I noticed that loosening in my physicality. It was like right in the middle of my body and the torso. And it was literally like a knot loosening. And essentially, what I had done was take myself through the process I've described to you guys about finding ease with money. Because the truth is, there is always more flowing to you, always more flowing to you. You just have to be open to it. You have to have done the work to rid yourself of the beliefs of there's a shortage of money in the world. If you listen to the news, there is a massive black hole in the government's finances. Maybe there is, if you add all the pluses and minuses up, maybe there is. But I know in my existence, there is always more money flowing. And do you know what governments have been doing for quite a long time now? Every 4 or 5 years, they print more money, literally print more money and send it out into the population. There's evidence of there's always more money available, right, to all of us. So I want you to notice, this is kind of like a homework, if you like. I want you to notice, where do you feel constricted around money? Is it the thought of spending it? Is it the thought, I haven't saved enough for my retirement or for the holiday or for the car, or I'm going to have to take a loan out to get something? Notice where the constriction is. Then notice, how am I feeling about it physically? So if you're thinking about, oh, I have to borrow some money to buy a car or to get some sofas or whatever it is, does that feel good to you? Do you understand that that loan is a way that money is flowing to you? Because money doesn't think, oh, it's a loan, that's bad. Money just thinks, this is the easiest way to flow you that abundance. So notice where the constriction is, notice your beliefs, notice how it's making you feel physically. And my suggestion to you is, you know how to do the releasing process. And if you don't, it's in my book. But do the releasing process, do the things that make you feel good physically, dance, sing. I know Zoe's watching, and Zoe is brilliant at this. She finds new and innovative ways of making herself feel good. And the other week, she stood up in her local cafe and was accompanying a singer, right? She was playing a tambourine, and the singer was like, wow, you can actually hold a beat. Amazing. That's feeling good, right? That's finding those opportunities to feel good. And in that feel good, everything settles, everything opens up. There's an allowing to happen. Now, so we bought this carpet, going back to my carpet, and the quote we were given was around £2,000, which was a lot more than I was wanting to pay, to be honest. But as we left, the salesman said, oh, the guy who's coming to see you will, I'll talk to him and we'll see if we can do you a deal. I was like, fine. As we came away, my husband said, oh, that's a lot of money. I was like, yeah, it is a lot of money. It's not really what I had in my budget, but let's see what they say when they come. And so they came along. This was last week. They came along and they measured the carpet. And he came and he said to me, it's not quite 2,000, it's actually around £1,700. I was like, right, okay. He said, and before I could say anything, he said, was it by any chance in the sale, the carpet? And I said, no, it wasn't in the sale. And he said, well, leave it with me. And 10 minutes later, he said to me, right, I've managed to knock off 40% for you. That was it. And instantly the carpet was in my budget range. So I received abundance by getting that massive discount of 40%. And since then, I've been getting little things. So the other day, on Monday, my mum paid for some petrol for me unexpectedly. I was taking her somewhere, but she just went, let me pay for some petrol for you. Here you are. Other people have been gifting me food. So abundance, remember, doesn't just flow in currency. It can flow in items, right? So someone's gifted me some food. I've had 2 sessions of help from a friend of mine to help me with what I was going through last week and just helping me through. And I've had more offers from other friends. There's been a real thread of generosity flowing to me. And so I'm making the most of this, right? And the second part of the story I want to tell you is that my husband has wanted to buy a TV for his man cave for ages. And I've been saying to him, you need to buy the bigger TV. It's a really big wall and you need to buy a bigger TV. And this was the same weekend we went looking for carpets. And he said to me, I just don't think I feel worthy of it. I don't think I deserve to reward myself of it. And so I took him through the process that I've talked about tonight. I got him to understand, how is this affecting you? What beliefs are attached to this? And we came to a really interesting one, which was, it was an inherited belief of spending money on things like TVs is frivolous and should not be done lightly. And that was a real belief from the 70s, right? When our parents, TVs were really expensive, considered a luxury item, and our parents would have either rented or saved diligently to buy a TV. Nowadays, TVs are relatively cheap, and most people don't think twice about buying a TV. And so once he understood, actually, this wasn't his belief anymore, it was one he'd grown up hearing, he was able to let it go. And then I was like, now I want you to imagine what it would be like to have that TV in your room. And he struggled a bit. Now, my husband's really into music. So I said to him, imagine you're playing one of your concerts on the big screen through the speakers in your room. What would that feel like? And instantly there was this huge smile on his face. And he just went, it's like I was at that gig. I was like, exactly. And in that moment of feeling how delicious it will be for him to experience being at that gig through the TV, through the speakers, he completely aligned to the idea of the new TV. And the cost of the TV was exactly equivalent to the 40% discount I got in the carpet. Do you see what I mean? Abundance is always flowing to you, and your work is always, how can I find ease with money? Yes, there will be times when your budget is stretched. I know this. I experience it myself. Yes, there'll be times when you think, why is no one buying my product? Or why is no one giving me a pay rise? Or why is no one understanding that I worked really hard? Or why is no one understanding and appreciating that I'm a really great employee? You will experience those things. I know you will. That is life. It is part of the physical experience. However, what you have, all of you, without doubt, A, you have your connection to your higher selves, and B, you have the releasing process, and you have loads of advice in the different lives I've done on how to align yourself to more and how to find ease when you are lacking. When you feel like you're in lack, find ease. Because when you find ease, you immediately move from poverty into abundance. And once you're back in abundance, you're better able to start receiving more. So I hope that helps. If I can see some comments come through there, let's have a look. Zoe, I definitely have beliefs in terms of like, yeah, okay. So this is the credit card and loans are really interesting, right, Zoe? You raise a really good point. Now, there's a couple of things. When we were growing up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, there was a real change in attitude towards credit cards and loans. So in the 70s and 80s, early 80s, I would say, having a credit card or a loan, you used the credit card very sparsely. You tried not to go into debt with a loan because the interest rates were really high and incomes were, capped and quite limited. So there'll be an element of inherited beliefs from family, right? And society in general. Now, in the 80s, the greed is good is the motto that then began to be bandied around. It was like from Wall Street and the stock exchange, and you began to hear of stockbrokers earning loads of money, etc. And so there is an association also with credit cards and loans of being greedy, right? And that can be a limiting belief. To want more is greedy. which suggests that there isn't enough to go around, which you and I, Zoe, know is completely untrue. There is more than enough to go around. From my perspective, and again, I emphasize, do not put yourself in debt for this, but a loan or a mortgage or a credit card is a way for the universe to show you that there is abundance available to you and that you are able to access it if you choose to through the loan or the credit card. You don't have to, right? But imagine what the balance is. Supposing they say you have a credit card limit of £6,000, that £6,000 is available to you in lots of different ways as abundance flowing to you, as money flowing to you, as currency flowing to you. You just have to find the right way for you to bring it into your physical experience. All right. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Mickey. I hope you're well. And was it the I think it was the dancing and everything put you into appreciation, because we did have a good chat about that. Yeah, it was a really great exercise to do with my husband. He really turned it around, and it really highlighted that actually he did deserve what he wanted. He was worthy of that choice. And actually, the TV arrived today, and we were playing with it on just before I came in, and the look on his face, like he's so made up, he's so happy. That's going to generate like a whole load of new beliefs of I am worthy of what I desire. I do deserve to get rewarded by life. I do deserve to get rewarded for all I give to other people in my work, in my family, etc. It's going to generate a whole load of really positive beliefs for him and create more ease around money for him. When he was thinking of money and spending it, it made him contract. This experience will help him to expand. Now, he might need to practice this a few more times, but it's definitely going to help him. So there you go. Perfect experience of what Gwen's saying. I was at a gig with a friend on Friday night and her husband gave her money to pay for our dinner. Like perfect abundance, Gwen. Unlooked for, surprising abundance. I love those moments. So, yeah. Yes, so it's like a panic in my cells. Yes, absolutely. It can feel as strong as a panic, right? Because there is a lot of us associate money with safety, right? It equates to safety because it's going to pay our rent or our mortgage, our food bill, or whatever it is that we want to do. But the thing you need to always come back to, I would say, once you notice that panic, don't spend too much time on the panic. Notice it, but don't go into it. The panic is the sign of misalignment. The panic is the sign that, oh, hang on, I need to find ease in this moment. And you might need to repeat this a few times so that you get a nice continuous ease, right? So, how can I find ease? So, for you, Zoe, it might be you're going to go for a walk in nature because you love being in nature, or playing with a dog, or dancing, or music, or maybe you'll listen to your laughter thing that you created when you were down south. That really lifts you up. Do you know what I do sometimes when I'm feeling wobbly around money, wobbly around my business? I watch my own reels that I put out on social media. Why? Because they make me feel good, right? Does it solve the long-term problem? No, but I'm bringing myself back to right now. I'm not looking at 2 days' time or a month's time or 6 months' time. I'm bringing myself back to now, and how can I feel good right now? How can I ease that frustration, the panic, the upset, whatever it is that I'm feeling physically? I want to balance that out. And I'm going to show myself. I would say, Zoe, for you in particular, when you're feeling that panic, apart from movement, I'm really feeling like you should go and buy yourself one flower. Like it can be any flower you like. I feel like a rose or a lily or something like that. And have it there as a reminder of how worthy you are of beauty in your life, of the abundance of nature, and just that beauty in your environment as well. I feel like that will really lift you. So some of you might want to go and just buy a flower as well on the back of what I've just said. So yeah. Oh, lovely. Serenity. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to say to you guys about this subject. Now, this is also, as ever with money and a lot of beliefs that we have to change, it's a practice and a process. Okay, so don't expect, if you uncover a whole bunch of limiting beliefs around your worthiness or how you generate currency or how it can flow to you, etc., or whether you deserve to be rewarded, if you just uncover a whole load of these limiting beliefs, remember, even if you've released them and you are now practicing thinking abundantly, being abundant, it's going to take a little while for those to become your routine. I've been practicing this stuff for several years now, and I still had a wobble because I'm a physical human. The difference is I don't dwell in the wobble. What I do is I quickly notice, and I'm like, right, how am I going to get myself out of that wobble? What do I need to do? Do I need to? I've got playlists set up on my phone to raise my mood, to dance to. I've got a money manifesting list. I've got a morning playlist. I've got podcasts. I've got pictures, screenshots that I've taken that are going to help me feel good. That's going to give me that boost in the moment. So it takes time, and it just means you have to be patient with yourself, be kind with yourself, and then kind of go, okay, this is a work in progress. I've got this. I don't need to get it right in one go. All I need to focus on is right now, how can I feel good? How can I bring ease to those constricting thoughts? How can I feel ease to my body feeling a bit weird and funny and panicky and uncomfortable? And I know before I used to practice this stuff, when I used to think of money, it used to make me kind of want to go move my body in a really uncomfortable, constricted way. Now, like, so quickly, as soon as I notice those thoughts, I'm able to turn them around much faster and do something. Okay, for some of you, I'm getting it will be as easy as doing 10 squats as soon as you hear that thought, because the elation your body will feel in doing 10 squats in that movement will be enough to change your vibration about that panicky thought about money. So notice how you feel, take action to feel better, and release the beliefs, and then go and spend a bit of money, anywhere between, I've said, between 10 and £100, ideally around the £25 mark, I'm going to say, on something that is not essential, right? So not food, okay? So something that's not essential, because in that buying of that non-essential item, you are showing yourself how worthy you are of more abundance. You're saying, I'm worthy of that thing. Okay. If you have any questions about those, come back to me in the comments underneath. And I'm still taking bookings for readings or higher self coaching. So if you have a conundrum that you're working through, or you need some guidance, please I'll put a link in the group, click on the link, and we'll take it from there. All right. Take care all, and I will see you all very soon. Have a lovely evening.